And truly, if just one person, I'm like emotional thinking about this and talking about this because this means so much to me, and I mean every word of what I'm saying. But if one person was able to release the weight, the burdens that they have been carrying in their life, even just a little bit of it, a little bit at a time, then that's all I could ask for. Hello, and good morning. My name is Siarah, and this is my first video here, or ever, my first video ever. And I am just very happy and honored and grateful to be right here. If anyone is watching this, just know it is truly an honor to be connecting with you in this way. I have been on my spiritual journey, on my path of self-discovery for several years at this point. And along the way, I have learned a lot about the mind, body, and spirit as separate components, but also how they weave together to form the whole that we are. Today, I just want to share a little bit of wisdom that I've gained through experience and through deep contemplation and searching for answers, studying, reading, learning, talking, and being very honest with myself. Today, specifically, what I want to talk about is the physical component, which I think can be the easiest to overlook. So in this video specifically, I'm going to be talking about a method. You can call it a method, it's not really, it just is, of intuitive movement, which also looks a lot like fascia unwinding, myofascial unwinding. What I'm doing in the video that I'm going to be showing you essentially is unwinding. But it's also intuitive, and you don't have to know anything about anything at all to be able to do this and to tap into the power of your own body. So that's really what I want to talk about today and show you how I do that, because this is something that's really easy to talk about, like, oh, just feel into your body, start moving, but what does that actually look like? And until we know that, it might just stay very abstract, and maybe seeing it will make you feel more called to actually experiencing it and feeling what it feels like. See these little guys over here? And what it feels like, and how amazing it can be for you and your mind and your body and your spirit. So if you have been on your own journey or path of healing and reclaiming parts of yourself, you may have heard before that emotions are stored in the body. And if you haven't heard that before, that's okay too. But that is an absolutely key, essential piece of the process that cannot be overlooked. So, patterns of stress, tension, trauma, old stories, all of these things get stored over time in your body. They build up, they stack on top of one another. And over time, when you really start to think about the energy of a emotional contraction, so something comes into the room that makes you uncomfortable. You're sitting there enjoying yourself, having a peaceful day. Something happens, something crosses your path that makes you go, you see that? Even if it's not that dramatic, even if it's not that literal and visible, your body, your nervous system, your muscles, your fine, tiny little muscles, everything is going. Or even just in the diaphragm. We go around and we hold that breath, gasp, hold, tension, tension, tension. You might be squeezing your butthole right now and you don't even notice it. But seriously, if you're at work, if you're on a difficult phone call, if you're anticipating, something from somebody that makes you uncomfortable or gets you a little anxious, or in these mental loops of what happens when they say this, what do I do when this happens, and just always running these scenarios in your mind. All of those things over time. A huge one for me is my shoulders, because for so long I was go, grind, academia, work, strive, prove yourself. And that, well, there's a lot to it, but as I have gotten older, I have begun to store that tension as a literal weight of the world on my shoulders. And so this constant overperforming, over analyzing, over compensating creates this tension that you can feel a lot of times. Or maybe it shows up somewhere else along your back, or down your arms, or in your chest, or somewhere else in your body. But the thing is, over time, when you're doing that dozens, hundreds, literally hundreds of times a day, it adds up, and it gets stored and stuck, and harder to allow your body to just naturally release it. Whenever we think about that in the physical, imagine that there's this grid, just a normal grid right in front of you, okay, and it's straight lines, and then there's kind of another grid on top of that, exact same one. They look the same, but they can move separately. So imagine that pure straight grid is you, your soul, and then whenever you start to pull yourself out of alignment subtly, in subtle ways, or maybe dramatic ways, even in subtle ways, like the tiniest little things, just pulling yourself a little bit out of alignment, a little bit this way, holding your breath a little bit over and over again. Okay, so when you think about yourself as this grid, and your mind, body, spirit are all overlaying, interconnected, we can interact with them almost as though they are separate, but they're not. Okay, so when we think about them as overlaying and interconnected grids, you can see where when one starts to pull, if it gets pulled in that way, and it just pulls over and over again, it's pulling energy. Your energy is flowing through this grid. It's pulling energy to that point. Maybe there's another one down here, something else going on in your life, something with your job, something with your job nagging at you. Okay, pulling at you, pulling, tension, pull. okay? And then something in your home life, something, you know, in a relationship, whatever, pulling, and there's this ache in your hip or your knee or your lower back or whatever it is, and it's just like, oh, I can't, like, why does it hurt? There's no reason it should hurt. I'm doing everything. I'm trying all this. Okay. You get the point. So maybe all of that energy is being pulled up here in your back and your shoulder and your neck. And since all that energy is being kept right here, not allowed to move because you're holding it, you're tensing it, maybe it's, you know, rerouting your flow of energy so that there's no energy down here getting to where it needs to be. Or maybe there's, you know, stagnation or tension or something else down here, and so energy just isn't flowing here, but there's an excess of energy up here. And so how do we balance that out? How do we balance that back out? If you've been asking these questions, or if you're brand new to this, this is going to be very relevant to you either way. But if this is something you've been, you know, dabbling in for a long time, or even feel like, you know, you've gotten to the place of peace and being healed, but there's still just this piece that you can't, like P-I-E-C-E, this piece that you can't fully find. Like you can't, like you feel like there's just something else. What is it? What do I need to do? What am I missing? And the thing is, we tend to focus on the mind and the spirit, healing the mind, the mental, emotional, spiritual bodies. And that's great. That's necessary. That's essential. And it's important. But that's not everything. It is not everything, and it cannot be everything. So what I say is that maybe this is your physical body, your blood and skin and bones and cells asking, hey, can it be our turn now? They want the attention too. They want the healing. Your body carries you through every single day. Your body takes care of you. You're here now, you're breathing, you're watching this video, you're loved by your body. We cannot abandon our bodies. And I know that is a difficult thing for some people, and even just hearing me say this, talking about loving your body, might be triggering. And if that's you, just know that is okay. It is okay. And actually, I just want to take a moment here with everyone. If you can just take a deep breath, place your hands over your heart, close your eyes, and just tune in and tell your body, let's do this together here. Even though we have been through a lot, and even though I have not loved you fully at all times, I'm here now to acknowledge the love that I have to give you. I acknowledge the magic of you. I acknowledge the hard work and the care and the support and the life-sustaining ability. I acknowledge my bones and my blood and my organs and my skin and my teeth and my eyes and my hair and my nerves, my nervous system, and everything in between. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you, I love you, I love you. And from here forward, I will try to love you more. I will love you more. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I love you. Amen. So it may be scary, it may be hard, this might be new to you, and that's okay. It's okay. You gotta start somewhere. Time is going to pass no matter what. So if you start today, 3 months from now, you'll be in a much better place than if you don't start at all. Your physical body is the densest body that we have. It is the densest form of energy, and this physical body, this 3D body that occupies time and space, is the house of all of your other bodies. It is the home to your soul here on earth. So even if you have analyzed and thought through and addressed in your mind all the different things, all your traumas, all your old stories, past narratives, and you've had great journaling and, you know, huge insights and revelations come through, that's amazing. That's great. But that doesn't necessarily release those patterns of stored emotions in your body. Emotions are energy in motion. When you feel happiness, wow, that's very uplifting and opening, right? When you feel joy, there's like this heart steady, just centered buzz of just emanating happiness out into the world around you. When you feel anger, there's this heavy rising from your lower chakras, you know, from lower in your stomach to maybe more in your diaphragm or chest, or even, you know, you just feel anger rising, or guilt you might feel deep in your gut, or shame, or some of these things that kind of make us like, oh, don't look at me, oh, don't see me, oh, contract, pulling your energy in. There are expansive emotions and there are contractive emotions. So contractive emotions are the ones that get stuck. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe other emotions do too, but in my mind, these fear, shame, guilt, jealousy, anger, these things, which also none of those things are inherently bad. Anger is sacred. Anger is powerful. Anger is beautiful, but it must be held with respect and intention and compassion and be channeled appropriately so as not to cause harm and destruction to physical things or people's emotions. So those contractive emotions, you know, you feel that pit in your stomach, you feel the ache in your heart. That's actual energy. You feel that because it's true sensations happening in your body, like actual physiology. So when we don't allow an appropriate release, when we don't give a release valve to these emotions, they get stuck. And maybe you think, oh, I'm just not a very expressive person, or oh, I just don't really, you know, like to cry, or I'm just not angry, I don't get upset about anything. No, that's not true. And if those thoughts come to your mind, then maybe you're suppressing some stuff. Maybe you're suppressing your emotions, or maybe even lying to yourself. And I mean that with love, but it's true. So over time, that builds up and causes us pain and disease, and maybe even it manifests as physical things happening in your life, or like as literal things happening in your reality. You know, relationships with people or events or just like these crazy things that keep happening out of nowhere, and you're like, what the heck, man? Well, maybe there's, maybe all of that is nudging you to let go of something. Our outer world, what we're experiencing in the physical, in the world around us, is a reflection of our inner world, a reflection of that grid. Where is that grid being pulled? Okay, is that grid, is the energy of you, your makeup, your whole energy makeup, is it being pulled towards needing external validation, just needing tons and tons of external validation, or needing, co-regulation in an unhealthy way, or needing, reaching for a substance, or whatever it is, your energy being, pulled at, it will show up, it will manifest as specific things in your body, or maybe it hasn't yet. Maybe it hasn't gotten to that point, but maybe you've just been feeling very stressed. It doesn't matter. We're all humans. We all go through stuff. We all have something on our plate, okay? And there's no sense in comparing. It doesn't matter what she's got or he's got on their plate. What's on your plate? So, now that I've given you a lot of stuff to just sort of think about and chew on, let's get into what I do and what we can actually do for ourselves to release these stored and stuck emotional energies in our body. So with this, there's really not a lot of instruction to give because it is very intuitive. So I think this is more about permission and sharing an invitation. You don't need permission from me, but sometimes seeing other people allow themselves to feel into their body and be, uninhibited and not care what it looks like or what someone else might think. And to even know that we can do this, it's an invitation, and you can give yourself permission to step into the healing that your body already knows how to do. Your body knows how to realign that energy, but it cannot happen when we're constantly inputting more things into the grid, into our field. It can only happen when we quiet everything, when we quiet the mind, quiet the monkey brain, let the loops dissolve, turn those off, step out of those loops, step out of the mental hygiene. Mental hygiene is huge, and it's something that's not talked about enough. And honestly, I should do a whole video just about that. So let me not get into that. But you have power over your thoughts, and it's hard and it takes practice, but you can allow yourself to not feed those loops with your mental energy. Thought energy is powerful. Maybe the most powerful thing that we do on a daily basis is think. Where are your thoughts? Where's your energy being sent out? So, yeah, let the mind go out. It has nothing to do with this part of the healing process. This is somatic. This is in your body. This is letting your body do what it needs to do, letting it release how it needs to release, because it knows how it needs to release. And I think the most amazing thing about what I'm sharing with you here is that, yes, there are tons of techniques and steps and services and classes and certifications and all these things you can do to release stored emotions from the body. And there are some very powerful, incredible techniques and modalities that people use, and those are completely valid. But the jewel of this is that it is free. You are the ultimate authority. You are the ultimate authority on this. Actually, not you, your body. Your body, okay? And if this is a new thing to you, being in your body, whatever, maybe it'll help you to think of it almost as its own thing outside of you right now, just while you're, you know, in this energy and feeling into all of this. And if you do this unwinding practice, this intuitive movement practice that I'm sharing with you here, then watch your body as an observer. Step out and just be like, okay, I'm going into this with no expectations, first of all, but also no need to take control, no need to alter the experience or try to pull things a certain way. Just letting it happen organically, naturally, unfold in a way that it wants to. So, yeah, it's free. You can do it anywhere, anytime. I think the biggest payment or commitment or, you know, what you have to give in order to really get the most and receive the medicine of this is your courage. Seriously. Because our bodies are primal. This is the densest, most physical, most earthly part of us. And that's a beautiful thing. It's not a sinful, ugly, nasty thing. It's a beautiful thing. So, you know, when our bodies take over, it can look very animalistic. It can look very raw and unfiltered and very primal. But that's a good thing. That's, you know, your body holds on to these emotions in the first place because it's trying to protect you. You tense up and you get ready to run away from an uncomfortable situation because your body is protecting you. That's fight or flight. That's a holy part of us too. It is protection, and that is necessary for a biological being on this planet. But it's all about balance, you know? So allowing yourself to, you know, look a little crazy, to groan and moan and breathe and sigh and huff and get mad if you need to get mad, to sob and to cry and to just let it all out. Because that's a huge part of this intuitive movement is, I mean, you know, if you've never done it, there might be a huge flood of emotions. If you've done it a million times, there might be a huge flood of emotions. Or maybe your body will just lay there. Maybe it might stretch and move a little bit and then just lay there because you need rest, and your body needs to not have to move itself out of a situation. It needs to know that it's safe to stay. Any range of things, any of it, it doesn't matter. It's all great, amazing, perfect, holy as it is. And truly, if just one person, I'm like emotional thinking about this and talking about this because this means so much to me, and I mean every word of what I'm saying. But if one person was able to release the weight, the burdens that they have been carrying in their life, even just a little bit of it, a little bit at a time, then that's all I could ask for. That's all I hope to come out of this. Now, if a ton of people lighten their load and release the weight that they were carrying. That would be amazing, because the world needs that right now. That is what we need. We need people to find their way back to their heart, to find their way back to love, to simplicity, to peace, to letting their guards down, letting those defenses down, so that we're not all baring our teeth and ready to fight each other all the time and angry and sick and emotional. Not that emotional is a bad thing, but when your emotions are out of your control and they are controlling your life, it spews onto other people. It poisons everything around you. And that's a hard truth. When you cannot sit with your own emotions, you try to force them onto other people in a variety of ways, maybe subtle, maybe not so subtle. Maybe it's usually subtle and then sometimes it explodes. Whatever the case is, we have to be able to release our emotions in healthy ways that don't cause harm to others, that don't perpetuate the cycles of hurt and pain that are causing us our hurt and pain in the first place. Emotional dysregulation is a disease that poisons relationships and that affects every single person. And then there's healing that has to be done, and there's work and energy and time and thought and all of the stuff that has to go into healing ourselves, healing ourselves, because it's necessary and you have to. It is a necessary part of living, this life and going through challenges. But imagine if we all just stopped hurting each other so much. What if we just, stopped hurting each other so much? What if children they never had to go through any of that? What if they didn't have to spend years healing? What could they put their energy into? What could they put their creative energy into? Their creative magic? Where could learning go? Which, I've learned a lot through this healing journey, so it serves its purpose, I suppose, but it's just, we all deserve that for ourselves first and foremost. Do it for yourself. Cultivate peace within your life for yourself. If you have the courage to allow your body to be feral, to be wild, to embrace that part of your divinity. We are spirit, we are God, we are holiness in physical form. That is the beauty of it. That is the challenge of this. Our physical bodies have limitations. Our physical bodies go through challenges. But the whole point is to learn how to expand your capacity for love and compassion in the face of challenges, through the challenges, because of the challenges of the physical body and physical reality. That it is a remembering through the challenges so that you can hold a higher awareness, more compassion, more capacity. It is all about increasing the elegance and intelligence of yourself. How can you hold more and more and more? That doesn't mean doing. It does not mean doing more and more and more. How can you hold more love in your heart? Maybe that looks like something completely different. Everyone's going to have a different answer to that. But how can you hold more love in your heart? So, one answer to that is release the emotions and the energy that are stuck and holding you back from being able to do that. Release the patterns and the cycles that are looping in your fascia, in your tissues, that are holding you in this cycle. Even if you've done all the work, you've thought through it all, you've mapped out, trauma patterns and cycles and where it started, and done your generational healing meditations, and that pattern is still stored in your tissue, love, okay? Give yourself the space and the permission to let it go. At the very least, to talk about how to move intuitively and allow your body to do what it needs to do. There's no rules. There are no rules. All you need is space, even just like 6 square feet. That's really all you need, 5 square feet. Just enough space to move your body in every direction that you would want to move it, to sprawl out on the ground. All you need is a little bit of space, and ideally no interruptions. And this might be hard for some people to even have the courage to do this in front of themselves. So, maybe you want to make sure you're going to have privacy. Even for me, it's not something that's easy to do in front of other people. And yet, here we are, sharing it with whoever's going to be watching this. It's not easy. It takes courage. So, find your space. Try to clear your mind. Take some deep breaths. You can stand. You can sit. You can lay down. Sit or lay down on the ground. You can do it inside or outside. It doesn't matter. Just find yourself wherever you want to be. Where do you want to be? How do you want to start this? Just find yourself there. So wherever you want to be. And just maybe give your arms a nice big stretch. And just hold it for a second. See, my body is already wanting to start unwinding. Because it's, what time is it? Like 9 a.m. So I haven't had a lot of movement yet this morning. It's ready. Or, maybe you just start laying down and you bend your knees, or do a little froggy with your legs. And maybe your hips will start wanting to find some movement. Or maybe you just lay sprawled out, and then your body might just, start moving itself. But however you want to start, just allow yourself to have a clear mind, breathe deeply, try to feel your body resting a little bit, calming down a little bit. Close your eyes. I usually have my eyes closed. And there's so much amazing stuff to talk about with fascia and light and how it all moves through your body and how emotions get stored, but that'll be for another video. Closing your eyes can make a big difference though. And just your body, when you stretch in the morning and you do that, that's fascia release, and that natural kind of like, oh yeah, that feels good, and you stretch out, and that sensation of like, that feels good, that is your fascia melting. It has been hardened overnight because it's sat in one place. It has been sitting in the same place. Fascia is fluid and magic. I don't know. We want our fascia to be fluid and movable and not solid, solidified. That's what causes tension and inability to like move and flex and really work your body. So that feeling of stretching in the morning, that is the beginning of unwinding. So we all know how to do it. It's natural. It's not something you have to like figure out, am I doing this or not? Is it right? No, there's no right or wrong. Just start. And, maybe that stretch is a great place for you because we've all done it. And then just stand there and allow your body to move in whatever ways. I find that a lot of times my body will be literally doing like stuff you can tell is like unwinding, and it will move me into positions and shapes that I can tell what's happening. I'm not trying to do it. I would have never thought or guessed that would be like the movement that I need, or I'll get kind of a trapped something, I don't know what it is, but kind of just like a sticky shoulder of some kind. And so my fascia my fascia unwinding will often put me into positions of stretching my body out such that there's like lines created around this, and I'm just sitting there unwinding it in all these different. So I know for me that is somewhere I tend to store things. And yeah, you just have to give your body the permission and the space. That is it. That's all you need. And a little bit of courage. Don't care what you look like. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Challenge yourself to be uncomfortable and to be okay in that discomfort. That's how we grow. That's the only way we grow. So, I think that's enough for now. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. And thank yourself for being here, for being on this journey, for trying to be a better person. Healing yourself is about becoming more whole, becoming, no longer cutting off parts of yourself, allowing you to be you, allowing you to be fully, wholly you, mind, body, spirit. So give yourself the permission and the space, and have the courage to let your body do what it needs to do. Thank you. I love you.